Hi, and welcome to Bible Art Projects. This week, I went on a cruise. And this is what I took with me in my travel journaling kit. Traveling is so exciting. Every journey begins with preparation. You decide where you want to go, and then you start to pack. Now, packing for a journey can be quite a task. You can't usually take everything with you, not everything you own. And most likely, you wouldn't want to, as some of the things wouldn't really be needed or even appropriate for every journey. It was the same for my travel journaling kit. I had to think about what I wanted to achieve, and then only take with me the items that would help me to achieve it. It meant that I had to leave quite a lot of my materials behind. I just wouldn't need them. They wouldn't help me, and actually, they would only weigh me down and take up space. As I thought about this, I realized that it was the same with my journey in Christ. When I first rededicated my life to Christ, I was weighed down by a lot of things. Things I was carrying that I really didn't need, and things that only took up space in my heart. I was brought up in a Christian home, with both my parents being wonderfully active in the church. My mom was a leader, and my dad a minister. Dad was actually the first national music director for the church. Our home was filled with music, ministry, creativity, and the love of God. I would spend Sundays at Sunday school and holidays at youth camp and national conventions. But it was at the age of 19, after years of drifting away from the principles I had been brought up with, that I decided to take that journey and rededicate my life to Christ. When I started this journey, I was carrying a lot with me. I was carrying my choices and the consequences of my choices, and the way I had been living before was really different to the way I live now. I would skip class to get up to mischief with friends and boys. I had a bad attitude towards my mother. I was cheeky, sneaky, and sometimes ridiculously rude. I also felt very troubled and completely not at peace with myself. Over time, and when I allowed myself to stop and think, I became troubled and uneasy with the things that I was doing and the person I was becoming. I remember speaking to my dad about my life choices and how I was feeling, and he said this. He told me that you can't sin halfway. So if you're going to sin, sin good. But if you're going to live for Christ, live for Him. And this wasn't just a dadism. It's in the Bible too. And the Bible puts it like this. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to one and despise the other. It also says that God detests those who are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold. They're like a bad taste to him, and he will just spew them out. At that time in my life, I was trying to do both. Live two lives, partying it up with my friends and boys, and still hold on to the love of God, but mostly partying it up with my friends. I started to realize that I needed to make a choice, and that it was being in between these two ways of being that was making me feel so troubled and uneasy. And the thing is, no one was putting any pressure on me to change. No one was calling me out on my behaviour. I just didn't connect with who I had become. I remember the day clearly. I was in my bedroom early one evening and I just started to sing. It was an old worship song from my childhood. And I sang and just kept singing. And tears filled my eyes. And I prayed. I remember saying sorry and asking for forgiveness for the choices I had made, the things I had done, and the path my life had been heading down. And when I had finished praying, I knew and had decided that this was the first day of my journey in Christ. Before this, in my childhood and upbringing, it had been a wonderful introduction, a wonderful upbringing in Christ, an amazing introduction to Him. But this day was my choice, and I was determined never to look back. I couldn't take everything with me on this journey, but unlike the pressure we put on ourselves when we pack to go on holiday, Jesus urges us to come as we are. He even says in Matthew 11, verse 28 to 30, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you," which is to connect with Him, to walk with Him, "and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Our journey in Christ doesn't need weeks of planning or months of preparation like it can do when we're going on holiday. It just needs a decision and the determination never to look back. On that journey, you will discover more about Christ, and you will see your life develop and change in ways you could not have imagined or planned for. All journeys are a form of adventure, a time where you take yourself from one place to another. And I can speak for myself when I say that my journey in Christ continues to be the most thrilling, life-changing, and content-rich adventure I have ever experienced. And best of all, it's a journey I have not had to make alone.